Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Haribol. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Sodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Janna Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Mr. Pad Paramahansa Prabhupada Jai Astatya Shishimat His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Gaura Vaishnavani Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Prem Sigaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopinath Shyamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Ki Jai Shri Maya Purnavidam Ki Jai, Gangamaya Ki Jai, Jamunamaya Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Go Premanandi, All glorious Summa devotees, all glorious Summa devotees, all glorious Summa devotees, all glorious Shishi Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva, and this is the last verse of his prayers. Yeah, in the song, yeah. It's actually easier to read from you. Atatam asino brahman paramatman vipashchitam visvang rudra bayadvastam akutaschid bayagatihi. Atatam asino brahman paramatman vipashchitam visvang rudra bayadvastam akutaschid bayagati. Atatam asino brahman paramatman vipashchitam visvang rudra bayadvastam akutaschid bayagati. Vishram Rudram Bayatvatstam Akutaschid Bayagati. Paramatman Vivashtitam Vishram Rudra Bayadvastam Akutaschid Bayagati. Atatam asino brahman paramatman vipashchitam visvam rudra bayad. Atatam asino brahman Ata. Therefore, Tvam, you, my Lord, Asi, are, Naha, our, Brahman, O Supreme Brahman, Parama Atman, O Super Soul, Vichastitam, for the learned wise men, Vishvam, the whole universe, Rudra Baya, being afraid of Rudra, Dvastam, annihilated, Okutaschit, Baya, undoubtedly fearless, Gati, destination. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki. My dear Lord, all actually learned persons know you as the Supreme Brahman and the Super Soul. Although the entire universe is afraid of Lord Rudra, who ultimately annihilates everything, for the learned devotees, you are the fearless destination of all. Purport. For the purpose of creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this cosmic manifestation, there are three lords, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, Maheshwar. The material body is finished at the time of annihilation. In both the universal body and the small unit, the individual living entity's body are susceptible to annihilation at the ultimate end. However, The devotees do not fear the annihilation of the body, for they are confident that after the annihilation they will go back home, back to Godhead. Tyaktva dehang punarjanma aitimam etisorjana. If one strictly follows the process of devotional service, he has no fear of death, for he is predestined to go back home, back to Godhead. The non-devotees are fearful of death because they have no guarantee of where they are going or of the type of body they are going to get in their next life. And a lot of them think that that's it. You died, that's it, right? So many people. The word Rudra Bhaya is significant in this verse because Rudra himself, Lord Shiva, is speaking of fear of Rudra. This indicates that there are many Rudras, 11 Rudras, and the Rudra, Lord Shiva, who was offering this prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is different from the other Rudras, although he is as powerful as they are. The conclusion is that one Rudra is afraid of another Rudra, because each and every one of them is engaged in the destruction of this cosmic manifestation. But for the devotee, everyone is afraid of Rudra, even Rudra himself. A devotee is never afraid of Rudra because he is always secure, being protected by the lotus feet of the Lord. As Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 9:31, Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhakta panashyati. My dear Arjuna, you may declare publicly that my devotee will not be vanquished under any circumstances. Om Jnanatamannandasya Gnanjana Salakaya Chaksham Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukram Krotavatalam Bhungalang Hayate Gurim Yat Kripatalaham Vande Sri Gurum Dinatararam Vanchikapatubhyascha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So here Lord Shiva is saying that actually learned people know you as the Supreme Brahman and the Super Soul. But in present society, modern society, who is considered to be a learned person? If you got a master's or you got a PhD at a university, you're considered to be learned, right? Even though you may be engaged in all kinds of nonsense activities, drinking, smoking, womanizing, still, he's a scholar. He's learned. But actually, according to Krishna, is not learned. Who is a learned person? Vidya Vaniya Sampane, Brahmane Gavihasni, Suni Chaya Sapakecha, Pandita Samadarshana. That he sees with equal vision the Brahmana, the cow, the elephant, the dog eater. He sees that everybody is a spirit soul. So this is actually a learned person. And we heard this morning also, Devita Prabhu quoted one verse, Yomam evam asamuro janati prusot sasarva vidbhajantim sarva bhavadena varata. That whoever knows me to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting, he's the knower of everything. Now that's pretty learned. He's a knower of everything. Whoever knows me to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's a pandit, a learned person. But of course, to know Krishna is not an easy thing. One can know Krishna to a certain degree because he's unlimited. But if one is able to at least understand that there is a God and that we are spirit souls, parts of that Supreme, then that's actually intelligent. And then, of course, Krishna, he goes on to say in the Bhagavad Gita, the Samodamastaposocham, Shantir Arjunavi, Jnana Vijnanam Asakam, Brahma Karma Sapavajam. See, these other ones like this knowledge that everyone is a soul, that's internal. No one could see that. And also to understand that Krishna, he's the cause of all causes, he's the creator, that's internal. But now, Krishna explains what a pandit, what a brahmana is. He's peaceful. First, he's peaceful, samodamas. He's not completely under the control of the three modes of material. He's very peaceful. And therefore it's stated, Krishna Bhakta, Nishkama, Atta Eva Shanta, Bhukti Mukti Siddhikami Sakali Ashanta. The devotees of the Lord, because they have no selfish material desires, they're peaceful. But mukti, those persons who have so many material desires, mukti, liberation, or some siddhi desires, because they have these desires, they're not peaceful. So that's the first symptom Krishna explains there. Samo damas, peacefulness, self-control, he's self-controlled. He controls his tongue. He controls his body. He controls his mind. This is another, externally one can see. A real pundit, a real learned person, he controls himself. And therefore Srila Prabhupada, he would only give initiation to those persons who are able to control their senses. And we have these 4 rules. And actually there was one person, initiated disciple of Prabhupada, who thought that it would be better if, instead of having 4 regular principles, we have 3. Yeah, right. That's a tough one. Gambling, that's a real tough one to follow. Yeah. Okay, later. Actually, Prabhupada said that we're also gambling. He was being a little facetious. Because we don't know what we're going to get. We've given up so much to gain Krishna, but we don't know. We don't know actually where we're going to end up. So in one sense, we're also gambling. But he says, Neha Bikramanasosti, that anything that we do in the service of Krishna, we never lose that. So we may not go back to Godhead, but whatever we're doing, Krishna sees that, and it's never lost. So, the one that he thought that we should that Prabhupada should eliminate is of course illicit sex. He said, Prabhupada, if we could just have 3 and just knock that one out, then this movement would grow like anything. And he was really pushing it. Yeah, so Prabhupada said, no, I'm not interested in having many stars, but if I can just have 1 moon, I'll be happy. So Prabhupada said, but he kept pushing, and Prabhupada said, well, listen, you go start your own movement with 3 regular principles. So, no, Prabhupada wanted quality. And Krishna, he wants quality. He's not so much interested in the quantity, giving up the important regular principles. So, samodamas tapa and austerity. Austerity is so important. This is how we grow. Nayang deho dehabhadram naloke custom kaman arhate vidbhujanya depo divyang putakayena sadang sudyad yasmad brahmasokyam tvanantam. That there's so many living entities, they have bodies in this world. But persons who have the human form of life, they shouldn't waste their time in engaging in the activities of the animals, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. But they should engage in austerities. They should engage in devotional service, by which they attain brahmasokyam tvanantam, unlimited happiness. So this austerity is very good. Krishna is pleased by austerity, just like when you know this great devotee, Raghunath Das Goswami. He was born into a very, very wealthy family, multi-millionaire. But he just wanted to leave and go to Lord Chaitanya. And he was trying to escape from the mansion. They must have had a big mansion. Yeah. They kept catching him. But he would keep on getting away, and they'd catch him. And then the wife said, well, can't we chain him up or something? And the father said, we can't. That's not going to do anything. Come on, we've given him a wife that's like the goddess of fortune, and he wants to leave her. What are chains going to do? So eventually he was able to escape the rich circumstance he was in. Went to Vrindavan, and he was he went to Jagannath Puri, and he was eventually he was living so simply that he was just taking the discarded rice that the cows would refuse, and I can't imagine. Just can't imagine. This was his prasad, from the Jagannath temple. The cows would reject it, and he would go and wash it and eat that. And Lord Chaitanya asked Swarup Damodar Goswami, what is his activities now? He explained, and Lord Chaitanya went there, and he said to him, why are you keeping this to yourself? This wonderful nectar. Why are you keeping this to yourself? And Lord Chaitanya started eating it. And the Raghunath Das goes, no, Lord Chaitanya, this is not suitable for you. No, this is nectar. Mahaprasadam. So imagine the austerity. And he would just also, he's described that he would just have some, eventually he was just eating some buttermilk, just a little, every third day or something, just like inconceivable. Of course, we can't imitate. But Lord Chaitanya was very pleased by this austerity. So he's pleased by this austerity, and that we're waking up early in the morning, we're going to Mangalartik, and we're chanting 16 rounds a day. Lord Chaitanya is pleased. This is also, in Kali Yuga, this age, to do that, that's a great austerity. Yeah. Many people can't imagine living the life that we're living. Samo Demostapa Saucham, to be clean, not only externally, but to be clean internally. That's the most difficult thing, actually. We've come with some samskaras from the past, so we become very dirty. But Krishna, he is Vedyam Pavitram, that he is Pavitram, he is the most pure. So in any way we come in contact with Krishna, we also become purified. Brahmarpanam Brahmavir Brahmagna Brahmanahavitam Brahmaiva Tena Gantavya Brahmakarma Samadhina. That anyone that is engaged in the service of Krishna, they get purified. Whatever he accepts is in relation to Krishna. It's like we only eat food which has been offered to Krishna. It's actually mentioned that if one eats anything that is prepared by non-devotees, anybody know what happens? The heart becomes wicked. If we eat food which is prepared by non-devotees, the heart becomes wicked. Because the consciousness goes into the... Well, no. Karmas are cooking it, they're frying it. Yeah, it's not good. Javita Prabhu, for those on the internet, said, well, potato chips from Ralph's? No. It's cooked by, they're cooking it, the non-devotees are, although it's, they're not making the potatoes, but they're preparing it. So better just, spiritual life means, simple living, high thinking. We eat simply. We don't have to eat. It's like, I remember when we used to go to the supermarket before we joined, there's so many things in there we used to eat, right? Now you go into the supermarket, like practically all the stuff we used to eat, we don't eat it anymore. Just the vegetables and the fruits. That's it, practically. So much, remember all, the candy bars and all this garbage we used to eat. So now we live a simple life, simple living, high thinking. Samodamastapasocham shantir arjunam evacha, is tolerant. A devotee is tolerant. It's like there's one pastime Prabhupada was on a plane. And this was back when people used to smoke cigarettes on planes. And there was no smoking area. So one person behind the devotee, behind Prabhupada and the servant, started smoking right there behind us. But it was a no smoking area. So the devotee went to the stewardess and said, this person, he's smoking in the non-smoking area. Can you maybe help, do something about it? So she went and told him to not. And so he put out the cigarette. But then about a half hour later, he started smoking again. So the devotee was getting ready to get up and complain again. And Prabhupada said, no, it's okay. He said, if we can't tolerate, then what makes us any better than them? So Prabhupada, that's a good point. We have to be tolerant. That's a symptom of a devotee. We tolerate. So these are some of the symptoms of a Vaishnava, and it's just like there's symptoms of someone who gets this coronavirus, right? They cough, they get a fever, and then it actually affects many parts. Just like unfortunately we have this situation with Bhakti Charu Swami, devotees all over the world are praying. He's still hanging in there. He's 75 actually. Yeah, he's quite elderly, so this is the most vulnerable people. You're older, and it affects many organs, many parts of the body. So these are some of the symptoms of the coronavirus. So there's symptoms of a Vaishnava. These are some of the symptoms of a devotee. Tikshava, Karunika, Surda, Sarvadehina, Ajanta, Satvata, Santa, Sadhava, Sadhavusha. Tolerant, compassionate, Tikshava, Karunika, Surda, friendly to all living entities. Ajata, Satvata, he doesn't have an enemy. He's not an enemy towards anyone. Who was the most famous? Yudhisthira. Although he was a king, he saw no one as an enemy. So these are some of the symptoms of a Vaishnava. And another is that, as it's mentioned here, Akutuschid Bhaya Gati. He's fearless. There's no fear. One interviewer asked Srila Prabhupada, what do you get out of this chanting of Hare Krishna? And Prabhupada said, have no fear. Fearless. And you could see how Prabhupada, he was completely fearless. New York City is like a jungle in itself. It's like he went there with no money. It's like I was just completely fearless. So he had that quality of their fearless, and his name is Abhaya Charanaravinda, fearless at the lotus feet of Krishna. So these are some of the things that we can look forward to, developing these qualities. Sometimes when we're on Sankirtan, people ask, so what do you get out of this? Is it doing you any good? Just a few days ago someone asked me, and I said, oh yeah, you'd be surprised. It's really helping. Yes. It's good. So yeah, you get practical results from practicing Krishna consciousness. Like there was one devotee in India. He was distributing books, and one person came and he started disturbing this devotee, harassing him about book distribution. And the devotee became angry at him. And this person said, you see, what is the result of this practice you're doing? You got angry at me. And the devotee said, no, it's helped me a lot. If I hadn't been practicing this in this way, I would have beaten you down to the ground. So you're lucky that I'm doing this because he said, oh, okay, and then he left right quick. So yes, this process is actually, it's working. So, actually when people come and harass me on book distribution, what I do is I tell them, please just wait here, I'm going to go get the police. And then I walk away just to get the police, and then I turn around, they're walking away. The scare technique. Yeah. So, in the Uddhava Gita, Krishna explains that the highest security is to be aware that we are the soul within. Then there's no fear. Because who can harm the soul? That's the highest level of security, is to be aware that we're the soul within. Who can harm the soul? I'd have to find it. That's in the Uddhava Gita. Dravita's going to find it right now. Yeah. I'm sure that's the highest security. And then put soul also, you'll find it. So this is the situation of a devotee, no fear. Yeah, it's like another interesting pastime. Devotees were on, I might have mentioned this already, but it's interesting just to show how fearless. I mean, he may not have even been a pure devotee, but Prabhupada was on a walk with devotees. And they were out in the field. And a car was coming very fast, like right towards the devotees, like they're gonna hit the devotees. And the one devotee just ran out in front of Prabhupada. Like, if you're going to hit anybody, you're going to hit me before you hit Prabhupada. And the car is still coming very fast, and it swerved just before it hit the devotee. And Prabhupada walked by this devotee and said, "Very good." Fearless. I mean, this is what happens in the association of... that was somewhere in India. Some Indian youth were threatening in that way. And in the Bhagavad Gita also it says, Vita raga bhaya krodha manmaya mamapasya bhavo jnana tapasa putamad bhavamagata. Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, many persons in the past have become purified by knowledge of me and have thus attained transcendental love for me. So Krishna, in this verse, he's encouraging us. Many persons in the past have become purified of this contamination and have attained me. And there's one interesting pastime of a devotee named Dr. Choksi. Remember in Miami? Remember Dr. Choksi? In Miami. Him and his wife. Very nice devotees. They had a couple children, and they were doing a lot of service for the temple. And at one point, the wife, she got cancer. And of course the devotees were very sad, and they would go to their house, and they would do bhajan for a couple hours every couple days or so, just to try to encourage her. And we were there one night, and it looked like she was going to leave her body that night, but we had to get back. We had so much service the next day. So just a couple hours later, after we had left, her husband is there next to her bed, and she says to her husband, "Krishna is here, and he's calling me. I can see him, he's calling me. But you're my husband. I have to ask you." Very chaste lady. So he said, "Yeah, go. So she closed her eyes, and sometime later she left. So that's kind of encouraging. Yeah, it's happening. So many devotees left their body in Mayapur and Vrindavan. That means you go back home, right? Yeah. So that's encouraging. We can also go back home, back to Godhead. We just have to continue on in this path, and eventually we'll become fearless and determined to engage in devotional service. There's one interesting pastime of Chittiketu. He was traveling around the universe in an aerial mansion, doing kirtan, Harinam Sankirtan around the universe. So he went to where Lord Shiva was. What's his abode? Kailash. And he was preaching to some sages. But Parvati was on his lap. So he started laughing, loudly laughing. Now Lord Shiva, he didn't take it seriously, but Parvati, she's like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? This is Lord Shiva. You're laughing at Lord Shiva. And she cursed him. She cursed him to be a demon, Vritrasura. But he came down and he paid respects to Parvati and accepted the curse. He was so powerful. Prabhupada says he could have countered. He was so powerful, devotee. But he accepted. And he said everybody is due their happiness and distress according to their past activities. So I accept this curse. Like, no problem. Like, wasn't a worry at all. No worries, mate, like they say in Australia. Wasn't a problem. So then Lord Shiva said, just see the elevation of a devotee. Yeah. And he said, Narayana parasarve nakutas chanavijini svarga pavarga narakesi apito yartha darshana. The devotees of the Lord, they have no fear. For them, going to heaven, going to hell, liberate, it's all the same. Because wherever they go, they're going to serve Krishna. So there's no fear. No fear. He became a demon, Vritrasura, a big demon, fought with Indra. And at the end of his life, what did he do? Back home. He was actually preaching to Indra because Indra became a little... He was such a big demon that Indra couldn't kill him. It took it took a year for his thunderbolt to go through his neck, right? Such a powerful demon. But before that happened, he was becoming a little upset because he couldn't kill him, couldn't defeat him. So Vritrasura kind of encouraged him. No, it's okay. Just keep fighting. You'll win. Just he was a devotee. So the destination of a devotee is to engage in devotional service. This is our goal. Even a devotee, a pure devotee, is not even interested in liberation and going back to God. He just wants to serve Krishna, because that's a very elevated level. There's one book distributor. He said, Prabhupada, I just want to come back life after life and distribute books for you. And Prabhupada said, no, don't think you're so advanced. Do your business, go back home, back to Godhead. So, of course, we have to engage in pure devotional service. There's a nice verse by Narada Muni. He says, Sruto vipatito dhyato adruto vanamodadya sadhya pramati saddharma deva vishva jahopihi. Narada Muni says that pure devotional service is so spiritually potent that if one simply hears about it, chants its glories, meditates upon it, accepts it faithfully, or glorifies the devotional service of others, even if previously he hated everybody, he'll immediately become purified. That's the power of pure devotion. Just hearing about it, meditating on it, glorifying the devotional service of others, we get purified. So this is our goal, pure devotional service. We have to serve somebody. You have to either serve Krishna or Maya. Better serve Krishna. And pray for that pure devotional service. So is there any question or comment? Yes, Javeda Prabhu.
Thank you. First of all, the reference for that verse about security is 11:16:26. It actually says, among religious principles I am renunciation, and of all types of security I am consciousness of the eternal soul within. Gambling. We're gambling when we are slack in our devotion. We're not serious about, becoming purified, going back to Godhead.
Yeah.
Because we're gambling that we have plenty of time. We have plenty of time. I'm young.
But we don't know.
I'm only 72.
Yeah.
No, I'm only 22. So everyone is gambling. Unless you're 100% using every moment, that's
Right, yeah, good point. Thank you. Balaram Prabhu.
Yeah, when you're talking about the that devotee saying, "Oh, Prabhupada, let's just remove one of these principles, we'll get more followers." I thought you were going to go in another direction, because one devotee was telling me that in a particular part of the world, devotees they just follow 3 regulative principles, and he said, no meat, fish, or eggs. That's what they follow. Anyways. Yeah, no meat, no fish, and no eggs.
They gamble?
I guess they're gambling and doing other things. Anyways, that's what.
A joke. Okay, Javita Prabhu.
Yeah. I worked on a book. I had the book, your book, for quite a while. And I know that book is filled with all kinds of incredible stories. And you have this, what do they call it, email, group that you always send out these amazing stories. So I would request that you maybe review some of those stories, and you're doing that already, but that would be a wonderful aspect of your class, to share one of those stories whenever you give class, if you like.
Oh, whenever I give class, share a story.
I mean, the Sankirtan stories, the Sharba story. I heard some more details about that. I'll tell you later. Yeah. But aside from that, there's so many wonderful stories in there, and every day you're posting.
Now it's in lockdown. Everything's stopped. We were getting ready to print it out.
Oh, that's what it was.
In Bombay, now everything's on hold. They can't do anything. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki